You're listening to Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh and whatever special guest he has today. You can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good. And follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the program. I'm really excited for this one. I'm excited for all of them, but this one in particular because the timing is fantastic. The Korn Ferry Tour is in town in our neighborhood at our club, Lakewood National Golf Club, the LECOM Suncoast Classic. I absolutely love the thing. It's my neighborhood's Mardi Gras, and this is also a chance for the outside world to come in and see what the fuss is all about at Lakewood National Golf Club, the real estate. And it's a good time to buy. So if you want to kill two birds with one stone, if you want to come see great golf, from the player standpoint, from the condition of the golf courses that we have here, and why Lakewood National Golf Club is the hottest golf community in Florida and all of America, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And also take a walk with some of your neighbors and your friends. Could be future neighbors and friends. Justin Kristich is the tournament director. He's a native Floridian. He's been around the block in pro sports. He's very happy this morning, and I'll get into that in just a minute. We're recording on Tuesday, April the 8th, and this will air the week of the LECOM Suncoast Classic, which is the following week, and we'll get into all that. But so that's kind of like setting the table. Hey, listen, if you're a regular guest of this show and you've subscribed already, I appreciate that. If you haven't done it yet, please do so. That helps the nerds at YouTube and also Spotify and Apple because they have all the algorithms and everything. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Leave a 5-star comment and also share the program with your friends. Big thanks to our title sponsors, Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, you're tired of beer, you're tired of hard, crappy seltzers, try a Party. Real golf cocktails for golfers, by golfers. I'm definitely going to have some during the week of the LECOM Suncoast Classic in my backyard. I can walk there, I can walk back. That's good stuff. And if your dream is to live at a place like Lakewood National Golf Club, there's nobody better than the golf real estate pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. Again, if you're in the neighborhood for purchasing a new home, it's a good time to buy because the real estate market has softened, and the ticket in and have a good time. Watch the pro golfers, then maybe go buy yourself a house or kick the tires on one. All right. So enough of that stuff. Let's bring Justin Kristich in. Man, I am so damn jealous of you for a number of things. First of all, congratulations on the national championship, which your team won last night. I hate that thing, by the way. Do you guys do it just as a matter to annoy the people of the world, or you just can't help yourselves?
Oh, I think it's every fan base. We all have our little things that annoy the world that make us happy.
It's better than what Florida State does. I mean,
it's better than tomahawk chop for sure.
Well, not just the tomahawk chop, but the chant and everything, because repetitive sound is a proven form of psychological torture. Get something new. I hate it. But so how you feeling this morning? Is the party still going on? Bring me up to speed after your Florida Gators won the national championship.
Not quite a party at this age. So as I was telling you before, I was fortunate enough to be in school during our previous 2 basketball national championships. So quite a bit different evening last night. So still well past my bedtime. But yeah, it's a good morning here, and it'll kick off a good day here for tournament prep.
Well, you're an interesting guy, and timing is everything. So you won 2 basketball national championships when you were at University of Florida, and it was the Tim Tebow era, and you graduated from sports management. Sports has always been a big part of your life. Why don't you take me back to the beginning? Tell me where you're from, what life was like growing up in the neighborhood that you did.
Yeah. So I grew up in Punta Gorda, Florida. You've already talked about University of Florida. So I've always, I've been a sports fan my entire life. Gator fan since I was a kid. I had family that worked at the school, so it was just kind of a natural thing for me to always want to go to school there, and always want to work in sports, and more specifically baseball starting off. So I did what I went to school for, graduated with a sport management degree, and got myself into the baseball world via a couple different internships, and then parlayed that to a full-time job until 2017, and decided it was time for try a different sport. So here we are in the golf world now.
And here we are on the brink of the LECOM Suncoast Classic at Lakewood National Golf Club. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty and everything. It sounds like a lot of work to me, but I don't want to underestimate how much work it is. Like, why don't you tell me what's it like leading up to the final stages? How heavy a lift is it?
Yeah, it's interesting for people who haven't worked in the event business before to understand. I mean, we're ebbs and flows, right? Highs and lows all year long. Obviously, this is the most, it's the craziest time, the most impactful time for us. All the planning has led up to this, and now it's execution time. So, it's really, there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of business development that goes along with this event, throughout the year, and then, it's fast and furious for 2 or 3 weeks, and then tournament week goes by very quickly, and then it's over, and we're immediately back into planning for the following year. So definitely not a 9-to-5 job. January, February, March, April, extremely busy, and then fortunate that I do have some nice work-life balance after that, and can relax a little bit, work on some other golf projects that I have, and then start to amp up again for 2026.
Jesse Kristich, the tournament director of the LECOM Suncoast Classic, is our guest here on Party Time, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, try a Party, especially Transfusion. By far and away our number one seller here at Party Drinks. And if your dream is to live in a golf real estate community like Lakewood National Golf Club, where this podcast originates from, nobody better than the golf real estate professionals of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizicaro from suncoastdreams.com to help you out. So you were talking about just like how much work it is, especially at the end, sort of a sprint to the finish. Is it if I had a comparison, would it be like running 4 or 5 weddings at the same time?
So I always compare it back to my baseball days. And one of the reasons I wanted to try something different, baseball was, you have spring training, you have the minor league side. So you're putting on, 85 or so different events throughout the year, and you're just replicating those over and over again. This is more of, all your fruit is in one basket type of scenario, right? It was, it kind of drew me to golf and the event management side of golf, where, it was just one event instead of, 80 something events that we had to plan for better or for worse. You only have one opportunity to put on a successful event. So, that was kind of the challenge and what I was looking forward to. So, as far as the wedding question, it could be like that, but I always try to compare it to the baseball side, and it being a little bit, quite a bit different, where it's just one event that you're responsible for, and all your planning and execution goes into that one week.
Got to get it right the first time. Yep. You got to nail it. Hey, let's talk about tournament sponsors, or sponsors exemptions, special people that come in. I want to talk to you about what the great surprise. Well, maybe it wasn't a surprise, but it was like he was the talk of the town and of the neighborhood. Miles Russell last year, all of 15 years old, finished tied for 20th. This year, you have a special sponsors exemption, Blades Brown. What should we know about Blades?
Sure. So let's go back to Miles real quick. So obviously Miles was, no one knew what kind of impact he was going to have. That, we got super lucky with, the amount of attention, how well he did, the national attention that he brought to the tournament, to the area, to the course. So obviously we wanted to bring him back. And at the same time as we were getting him back on an exemption invite, Blades Brown was turning pro. So Blades and Miles have been, friendly competitors in the amateur golf scene since they were little. They're friends, they're rivals. They go back and forth. Blades is the best 17-year-old in the country. Miles is the best 16-year-old in the country. So once Blades turned pro, we decided why not, offer him an exemption. And we saw the impact that Miles had, and the two of them combined, if they play well, could be some really, really fun golf to watch next week.
I think so. Is there any way? So you get to pick who the sponsors' exemptions are because it's your jam. Can you manipulate the tee times? Could we put them in the same group?
I've asked. No, the tee times are actually random based on the category that the players fall into. So, and the PGA Tour rules officials, competitions committee are the ones responsible for that. The tournament host organization is not. There is a chance that they are paired together because their category is. There's less people in their category. So it's exemptions and Monday qualifiers all in the same category. So there is a good chance that they do get paired together, but it's not, it's not over 25, 50% or anything like that. But hopefully they do. If they don't, that just means there's more to watch on the golf course with two big galleries following these two.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that one because I think that would really be something. So tell me this. I talked to a lot of caddies. We've had players stay in our neighborhood because the purses are not real huge on the Korn Ferry Tour. That's sort of by design, just to make the guys hungry so they can get their PGA Tour card. So they need some help along the way. And several of my neighbors have hosted players and caddies, and they love it. We love it. I mean, there's like a party every night. And the players tell us it's not like this every place they go. There might be some similarities, but they said this is the big one. The hospitality is so good. Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's the course we're on, right? There's what you would know better than I am, 1,574 homes, almost 1,600 homes out there. So, we're fortunate that we have that starting point with the host family program. To get some of these players and caddies, to save a little bit money, like you said, it is designed. You're absolutely correct. It's designed not to keep them comfortable on the Korn Ferry Tour, but also help them make a living. In the last 5 years, the purses have gone up from $600,000 to $750,000 to now $1 million. So, it's a little bit more affordable. But yes, we don't. The goal is to not keep them on the Korn Ferry Tour. They need to keep shooting for the PGA Tour. But yeah, it's, when your golf course is in a community with all of these homes, it certainly leads to more people signing up to be host families. And then the broader Lakewood Ranch area too, just being such a golf centric community and opening up their homes. A lot of folks are empty nesters. They have extra rooms. These are second homes for people. Empty guest rooms. So it all leads to the right type of community to host these guys.
When I look at the Korn Ferry Tour, and I'm using the example of here at Lakewood National Golf Club in the LECOM Suncoast Classic, 4 years ago, great story. Hayden Buckley is an alternate, gets in, wins the thing, gets his PGA Tour card, was in contention at the U.S. Open at the Country Club in Brookline in 2022. So that's a success story. But what I really remember is when he was coming down the stretch on the 15th hole, his wife, girlfriend, whoever it was, darling, significant other, wife, okay, is walking along and she's holding their dog. And this is a little toy dog. And the dog sees him and starts whining for him. And there were some other people walking their dogs. Not that you, as a tournament director, would encourage dog walking, but it was just cool that it was like you could take a walk and there wasn't like the PGA Tour, that would never happen. But no, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. I mean, it's sort of like, you tell me as a tournament director, is it just like, come have a good time? There are not a lot of rules, but just do the right thing and be quiet at the proper time. What's your feel?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly rules. We don't allow it, but we're also not policing it, if that makes sense. So it is stipulated not to, unless it's a service animal, obviously, not to bring pets onto the course. But it's also something that we have a lot bigger fish to fry during tournament week. So we're not out there looking for people with pets and kicking them off the course. So our bigger challenge, honestly, is keeping the personal golf carts off the course. So that's one that we're a little bit paying more attention to, I guess.
I like that. You're not really policing it. All right. Hey, listen, I'll do my own policing. If somebody's being a jackass like doing stuff like that, I'll police it. You don't worry. You take care of the tournament. I'll take care of the rest. I'll get my neighbors involved in something like that.
Well, look who it is. I was wondering if you were going to come by.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Kevin.
You're welcome every time. You know that. I talk about you constantly on the podcast, but it's nice to see you in person. Gene Walsh, suncoastdreams.com. So it's Korn Ferry Tour week. We have the future stars of the PGA Tour in town. What do you like about the Korn Ferry Tour week?
I love seeing the neighborhood come alive with all the players and people out and about enjoying themselves.
Is it more about the golf for you, or is it more about the party? Be honest.
I just like seeing everything happen around the neighborhood, the excitement.
Is it good for business?
It is. It's a great way to showcase our neighborhood, all the amenities, and the golf.
Any homes for sale?
There are. We always have home for sale at Lakewood National.
How is the real estate economy right now? Because I hear a lot of people talking about the Dow, about the markets. How is that trickling down?
Well, people are asking, is this a good time to put our money in real estate? And I would say yes. We are becoming a more balanced market. We're getting closer to becoming a buyer's market. So it's a really good time to buy if you're thinking about real estate in Florida.
So you going to take it or walk with me on the golf course, or are you just going to park yourself in the grandstand?
I'll be walking on the course.
All right. And we'll be pounding some parties. Gene Walsh, suncoastdreams.com.
I like that. You're not really policing it. All right. Hey, listen, I'll do my own policing. If somebody's being a jackass, like doing stuff like that, I'll police it. You don't worry. You take care of the tournament. I'll take care of the rest. I'll get my neighbors involved in something like that. Some of the, I would say, I'm going to speak for myself. I love it. I know my neighbors all around me absolutely love it. But there's always a couple that like bitch about like giving up their course for a week. I guess it comes with the territory and everything, but just tell me, for those that are not in the know, what do we as members here at Lakewood National Golf Club, aside from a good show, get out of the Korn Ferry Tour being here?
I mean, I'll preface this too, but this is at every event. It's not just the Korn Ferry Tour event. The biggest PGA Tour events at the most exclusive courses also have members who don't want those tournaments there, right? Even members at Quail Hollow complain about hosting events there. So it does come with the territory. There's always there's people you're just never going to change their mind, and that's the way I view it. Is we have, I think there was a survey that went out last year, and 80% of the members approved of the tournament, which is huge, right? But 20%, it's this big number when there's over 3,000, technically over 3,000 members at the golf course. So we know there's people, we know the investors, the renters, they're never going to be on board because their value goes down when golf course closes during the end of season. I see it as we're marketing more towards the people who are lukewarm to it. They're not hot, they're not cold about it. Let's get those people in the middle moved over to the right side. So I think those are the people we're focused on, and that we continue to market to. And as far as benefits go, I mean, you're one of 26 courses in the world hosting a Korn Ferry Tour event. The only one in Florida. I think there's some pride to be had there too, and I think a lot of the original folks do have that pride. The folks who moved in 2018, 2019, 2020 before COVID. Our core group of members who support the event certainly see it that way. I mean, you get free tickets. You get discounts on VIP passes. You're able to walk the course during practice rounds when no one else is. We have a neighborhood shuttle this year going around. I don't know if that's gone out by the club yet, but we're paying for a shuttle to loop around inside Lakewood National because obviously we take the parking away during the week to just make it easier, not just for the golf fans to get on the course, but the folks who just want to use their amenities, go to the pool, pickleball, tennis, gym, massage, whatever it is. We're trying to do new things every year to, make everybody happier, as many people as happy as possible. We put those golf cart parking areas on tournament 9, tournament 17, encourage, some fun and excitement out there. And, another spot where it just serves in the parking lot for people to get out and be able to walk around the course. So, big thing for us this year was getting more info out ahead of time. Hopefully, we're doing a good job of that. I know there's a there's a member handbook that myself and my staff have been working on that should be going out, in the next couple of days. That kind of an A to Z guide of everything that's going on and get people excited about the event. I think that's what we're trying to convey the most is, this is a really cool event, and we'd love to see some more pride behind it from the homeowners out there.
Well, I think you got the majority of the people around your side, and those that are going to choose to bitch and put things on Facebook. Get out of here or stay at home. You don't have to play golf 7 days a week. Okay, 4 days, and you have the other golf course.
Yeah,
that's open.
We have the other golf course. Yeah. So again, we're not worried about the people that we're never going to change their minds, right? We're nice to them. We're here. We work around them. We see them around, but we're not going to waste our time trying to change their mind. We want to focus more on the people that keep the people happy who are already happy, and then the people that don't know, maybe they're new homeowners or they don't know much about the event, get them excited about it, get their support. If we can maintain 80%, positivity level, that's huge. That doesn't happen at a lot of places.
I think you got a given. You got that's a layup. That's going to happen. Keep doing the work and everything, and I'll do my part. And the people that want to complain about it, I'll just smack them around. So, what is the future of the Suncoast Classic here at Lakewood National Golf Club?
Yeah, we have LECOM has signed up matching deals right now. So LECOM and hosting at Lakewood National continues through next year. So after this year, we have one more year, and then we're, hopefully in the process of, number one, we need to re-sign LECOM to an extension of their title sponsorship agreement. We're having some good conversations with them right now. We expect that to go through soon. And then the next step is to, start chatting with, the Troon team again, and then eventually the board, and put together a proposal that the board and the residents vote on. So hopefully this summer, a few months after this event's over, we can start looking at extending early. We like to extend our agreements in advance, so we don't get stuck after 2026 looking for a place to play. So we're hoping to have a decision either way, or an idea either way in the next few months before, I guess, let's just say before the end of summer of what 27 and beyond is going to look like.
Justin Kristich is our guest here on Part T Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Part T Drinks and the Golf Real Estate Pros, Vince Fizicaro and Gene Walsh from SuncoastStreams.com. We talked about Blades Brown and Miles Russell, the 16 and 17-year-old amateurs that have sponsors exemptions. That's a cool story to follow.
Blades is actually a pro. He turned pro.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, he just turned pro. But he's young. Yeah, because I remember the decision go to college or not. My bad on that one. What are some other good golf stories to follow? One, I know this is for those that had full Korn Ferry Tour. This is the 8th event of the season, so they're going to have the reshuffle. So there's a lot of pressure going on for some guys to play good golf, or they're going to get bumped down. Correct?
Right. Yeah. So there's a reshuffle. We used to be in front of the reshuffle, we used to be behind the reshuffle. So now that, it lends a little bit more excitement, I guess, if you are a golf nerd and you're paying attention to that stuff. It's a big week for a lot of guys that have some points, but need to kind of cement their status for the next 4 events or the rest of the year, whatever it might be. So, as far as who those specific guys are, I don't know off the top of my head. It's a lot of them, right? It's going to be 50, 60 guys that need to get points to get into the next event, or have an opportunity to get shuffled out or shuffled back in. Big one to watch, I think, is Eric Barnes. He's another exemption. He's local here. He's been on the PGA Tour. He struggled a little bit with injuries and swing change last couple of years. So we gave him an exemption as a local player to get to be involved in the tournament, and he needs to play well to get some more starts this year. So I think that's one. If we're going to promote to the residents and members and everybody here, that'd be a guy to certainly get behind as a Manatee County resident, member at concession. Another guy who's playing very well, who's from here, is Davis Shore. He lives in Sarasota. He's top 20. He's inside the line to get his PGA Tour card. that'd be another great person to follow as well.
Yeah, that's cool. David Shore was interviewed by Rob, our entertainment director here, and then that was emailed out to everybody. So we got a couple local boys, got a couple young kids, got a couple like longtime grinders.
Yep.
Lots to look into. Justin, we're 22 minutes into the conversation. We haven't talked about your golf story. How much golf are you playing, and what's your connection to golf aside from running LECOM Suncoast Classic?
Really nothing, honestly. So I did not grow up playing golf. I grew up playing tennis, and then I got into baseball as far as a career goes. Golf it kind of fell into my lap. So long story short, someone I used to work with in baseball had moved on to the golf world, and I kept in touch with him, and he gave me a heads up when this tournament was coming here, and asked if I was interested in meeting the owners of the agency that was operating the event. I said absolutely. That's the time I was looking to get out of baseball. So I had dinner one night with them at Wicked Cantina in Sarasota, and they hired me the next day. They didn't have much of a choice. I was the only person they talked to, and they had like a 5-month runway to launch that event. So they needed someone immediately to come in that had some business connections to get at least a few sponsors on board that first year, and then really ramp up the tournament in year 2. So I kind of lucked into it. I think going back to our original conversation, the idea of running one event, really that was something I was really interested in, and why I wanted to get out of baseball, and golf was that perfect scenario for me, and just a change up. It was a change up for me, and it was a good one. That's kind of how I lucked into it. And obviously, getting into golf and a lot of business development, you have to learn how to play business golf. So I picked up golf quickly. I had learned how to play golf my own way, which was the wrong way. So I taught myself a lot of bad habits. I was able to, get around those bad habits and start to get around the course, and got myself down to around a 10-2, 10-4 a few years ago. And then I decided I would get a little cocky and start taking lessons, and I went backwards. So I should have just kept my bad swing and worked with it instead of trying to change everything up. So now I'm in somewhere in like the 15 or 16 range. I don't know. I played golf once or twice this year, so I'll play a lot in the summer. When things slow down, and there's more opportunities on the course during season. It's obviously harder to get on the course, and then also I'm just so busy. It's hard to vote the 4.5 hours, and then it's there's meetings before and after. It's a full day if you're golfing with sponsors or prospects. So I don't golf a lot right now. I plan to golf a lot as soon as the tournament's over. I'm going to need to. I have a trip planned to Bandon Dunes at the end of May, so I am in no shape right now to do that. So there's going to be a lot of practice, a lot of golf in my future here in a couple of weeks.
All right, get that game in shape. You're going to need it for Bandon Dunes, but they got good caddies out there, so maybe they'll coach you up, right? So it sort of be like a playing lesson. So I thought I'd share with you a story. I want to go back into your baseball life because I know the love that baseball players have for playing golf. I caddied for Wally Joyner a couple of weeks ago. Long-time major leaguer, played the bulk of his career with the Angels, but also played for the Atlanta Braves. And I think everybody knows the story of John Smoltz, America's Guest. There was no golf course club in America that Smoltz couldn't go to because he was good at golf, he was polite, he understood what it meant to be a good guest, and he did everything the right way, took care of the outside staff, the caddies, everything, and then left a lot of players tickets for players. So I asked Wally, I just said, were you on Smoltz's traveling crew? He's like, I was the 4th guy. I'm like, how good was that? He's like, it was so good. So you tell me this, when you were with the Pirates organization, were you ever responsible for making golf arrangements for some of the guys?
Not when I was with them, but I definitely have set up rounds for, I stay in touch with the Pirates folks. I'm also friends with the Orioles folks too. So I do get calls during spring training quite often on helping players get tee times at various golf courses. A little hard to do that at Lakewood National, so we do that at some other courses now. But back when LECOM tournament was in February, that was right during the middle of spring training. So there was a few years where the Pirates group would buy a Pro-Am team, and they'd have four players come out playing in the Pro-Am, and I think at one point, when Lakewood National was still being built up, a lot of the Pirates guys were renting out at Lakewood National. So I remember seeing like Jamison Tyon when he was with the Pirates, out playing golf almost every day, as pitchers do, when they're not pitching. So by the way, prerequisite, I think, for major league pitchers to play golf. I think they all do at this point.
Pretty much. It's like pro hockey players in golf too. It's like it just comes with it all. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So I set up a lot of golf after I left the Pirates, once people figured out I was in the golf business. So not so much while I was with the Pirates, though.
Okay. So winding things down here with Justin Kristich, the tournament director of the LECOM Suncoast Classic. Tell me a good golf story. It can be your own, somebody else's, but what's one story that you can tell that always gets a wow, or people are like, they're glad for the time having spent listening to it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a wow, but one thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about the host family that is always a story I tell. Mark Hubbard, who won our inaugural event back in 2019, we try to make the correlation with the residents and getting behind the event and developing relationships with the players. They don't live at Lakewood National anymore, but the family that hosted Hubbard in 2019, they actually became very good friends with him. They traveled to a lot of his events. They're still good friends with him. It's that connection that they made just by hosting him, never meeting the guy before he won the event. They became, great friends. They travel together. They do things all over the country. So I think that's a really cool story that, I like to share when we're trying to convince people to open up their homes and host these people. Like you might make a lifetime friend here and start to get invited to all these swanky PGA Tour events by these guys down the road if they make it.
That's cool that you mentioned Mark Hubbard, because I caddied for his caddy like 2 weeks ago, Johan. All right, he's a pro in Montreal, and a great player himself. He's like a +5, but we were talking about Mark and just what an interesting guy he is. And when I told him I lived at Lakewood National, he didn't tell me the story about the hosting, but he told me the story about that he won that. So that's cool. Hey, Justin, really appreciate the time, brother. I hope to see you on the links here in the coming days. And I wish you great success, not just with this year's version of the LECOM Suncoast Classic, but on into the future. And make some time for me. Maybe you and I will go out and knock the ball around. Sound good to you?
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right. Yep. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, try a Party Drink, available exclusively through Paradise Craft Distributors. If you don't have Party at your golf course and you want it, and you should, then get in touch with our people, Paradise Craft Distributors. And a big thanks to the Golf Real Estate Pros, Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro from SuncoastDreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. For Justin Kristich, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com or call 941-220-4000.